This is Sports Shorts Radio. It's the fastest 2 hours on the radio, covering it all from the Fighting Tigers of LSU to the tracks of NASCAR on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel.
And welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of Sports Shorts, presented by LeBears Casino in Baton Rouge. Ronnie Rance, Buzzy Heidel joining us in the first segment. Former LSU Tiger and the host of Hanging with Hester on ESPN Radio Monday through Friday now. Jacob Hester. Boys, how are you?
Doing well.
I want to know who's breaking down NASCAR. I heard it there in the title.
You know, we used
to really get heavy
no,
with the
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
We had a sponsor. You know,
we had a guy we could call.
Yeah, we had a sponsor. We had a guy.
Okay.
And the promo needs to be updated. But thanks for pointing that out.
Okay, I just wanted
Buzz,
to know,
put that down. Put that on
Yeah.
the notes. We've got to update
all I got
and
was
take Joel Davis's name off.
Yeah, Joel's out, and all I got is Carl Edwards. That's all I know about NASCAR.
Okay.
That he's a guy that he did the backflip off the car when he would win.
And well, I didn't know that.
No,
So-
there you go.
But we had a guy,
Okay.
Jacob. It was a great segment years ago on this show. But all right, so while we got Jacob, before he has to leave us, I got to ask him just general thoughts, general reaction. Through 3 games, how surprised are you where LSU is right now?
Well, it was a weird offseason because we didn't know what we were going to get from the LSU offense. And so while everybody was throwing out their predictions, 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, I never really did it because I didn't know. I knew the defense would be really good. Look, you have 2 All-Americans in Greedy Williams and Devin White. They were going to keep you in every single game you played with a chance to win. And that's what they did against Auburn. They kept the game close enough for the LSU offense to make enough plays to win the football game. And so what you've seen offensively is, look, it hadn't been pretty all the time. And the Miami game, they got up to the big lead, so they get handcuffed a little bit. Southeastern, they kind of handcuffed themselves, and the coaches said, hey, we know we've got to do more. And that's what you saw on the Plains in Auburn. So this team, look, has still got a lot of football to play in front of them, but they've still got a lot of room for growth. And if you're an LSU fan, that should excite you.
All right, so Buzz, where did the Heidels watch the game? Take me through it. Was it like one of those, YouTube moments where there's yelling and screaming and chest bumping going on?
So it was crazy because my dad, who my dad, and he's a football fan, he's an LSU fan, but he doesn't get real too excited about one thing or the other. I mean, when Tracy drilled that field goal to end it, I mean, we're all jumping up in the living room. I mean, that doesn't happen at the Heidel house. We're like Joe Burrow. We're just cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we were all excited, and it was just because I think for me it was a moment of. And I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm not a guy who gives up. But at some point in the fourth quarter, I kind of said, "Oh, this is going to be tough for us to win." I don't think, I don't know that we have a real shot. I mean, Auburn just seemed like they were playing better, and our offense just went to a halt. And then all of a sudden, the big pass, we get the touchdown. And this things happen. Greedy Williams gets the pick, and it happened where it started just in front of my eyes, and I'm like, wow. I guess that was where the excitement came from, is because I didn't realistically think once the fourth quarter got here that we were going to have a chance to win that game. And I know that's why you keep playing the full time on the clock. But it was exciting. We were in Gonzales, and we were jumping up like crazy, going nuts, and it was a big win for LSU.
Did y'all both see on social media, on Facebook, the SEC spoof where they got rid of the hot chair?
Oh, I didn't see it, but I saw the titles and stuff. I didn't really click.
Oh, man, they do such a good job in those SEC shorts. But, I want to ask you, Jacob, there was, as crazy as it sounds, there was that talk, if LSU only wins 6 games or so, what this does for Coach O and recruiting. What is it?
Yeah. Look, it's big, and we've talked about it before. If you put the blind resume out there, 9-4, 6-2 in the SEC in your first year, and you didn't attach a name to it,
right?
I mean,
you'd be content,
right? Exactly. And so, especially your first year as a full-time head coach, and so I thought last year was a good building block for this year. Obviously, you won the bowl game. You want to get to 10 wins. That's what everybody's goal is when they set out, as always, try to get to 10 wins. But to have these 3 wins and to kind of show people like, hey, you thought we were a year or 2 away, it's going to help not only recruiting, it helps with your fan base. You're playing in front of a sold-out crowd against Louisiana Tech now. If you had said that weeks ago, none of us would have believed that. But now you've got some energy into the program, and you've got a team believing they can beat anybody. You just went on the road in one of the toughest places to play in the entire country, not just the conference, and you won a game where you were down 11 points late in the third quarter. you're going to give yourself a lot of confidence. And now you've got all the rest of your toughest games in Tiger Stadium. That's a lot to look forward to.
Got a chance to go 5-0 in the month of September, and two of those against top 10 teams in the country. So you're seeing all the hype and everything, with the rankings.
By the way, you had to be real excited about the under too. I mean, that just had to just. you were so bullish on that too. So you would just take it to the bank.
I was telling people last week that the under was the lock of the century, and they did cover that. But let me say, I would say if it hadn't been for the just oppressive heat in Auburn, I would have said this is one of the happier experiences I've ever had covering an LSU football team because of two things. One, they won a game that you didn't expect them to win. I mean, when have they ever been a double-digit dog on the road and they win a game like that? That just doesn't happen very often in the history of LSU football or anybody's program. And for that to happen was great. They took the under and they covered the 10.5. So I went 2 for 2 and the Tiger. I mean, it was a magical day. And then I come in the locker room and Jacob's having a good day too. I mean, it was a great day.
That's why I thought that 10 was it 10 or 10.5?
10.5.
That's why I thought that was a little high because Jacob made a good point earlier. I mean, that defense is going to keep you in every game. I mean, it doesn't matter, how bad the offense is that day. You just feel like their defense is going to keep you in any game. And so I thought 10.5 was a big number. I really thought that was more of a lot than the under. But needless to say, both of them were a hit.
Well, going into the season, everybody was talking about, and even some of the LSU players said, hey, look, we think this defense is going to be able to keep the opponent to under 20 points in most every game we play. And if so, the offense will do enough to win. Well, Auburn scored 21, and so it almost wasn't. But
good offense in their stadium, you can't fault that.
But I'll ask you, Jacob, what about this LSU team, besides the record, has surprised you in a good way? What are you seeing out of this team that leads you to believe there's more wins than in the tank?
Well, I knew they had leadership, and I knew they had vocal leaders, even coming into the season before they kicked off against Miami. I thought they had a lot of vocal leaders, a lot of guys that could step up to the plate if things went bad and kind of put a halt to it. And you can point to a number of different guys: Devin White, Foster Moreau, Rashard Lawrence. Nick Brissett. We can talk about all of it. But it's just they really do block out the noise. Every coach says it. I mean, we've all played. Every coach says it, but it's hard to do. But that team does it. They've got a lot of grit. They've got a real workman's type personality to them. It's us against the world, and that's kind of their moniker, and that's what they're continuing to grow. And they know they haven't played their best football game by any means offensively. There's still a lot of room for growth, but you're seeing improvement. So it's not sitting stale and there's no improvements. You continue to get a little bit better. Nick Brissett is gaining confidence as your leading rusher. That's going to be somebody that they're going to lean on later on in the year. Look, it's been fun to watch. It's a team that has a mentality that nobody can beat us right now.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask one thing about staying on the offense. You being an offensive guy, Steve Ensminger. I thought, and look, I'm not a football guru, but I thought that was the first time in I don't know how many years. I mean, Gary Danielson mentioned it in the broadcast. They threw 11 times in the first quarter. They were pass happy as I've ever seen LSU. What do you think about Steve Ensminger as offensive coordinator and his game plans up to this point?
Oh, I loved it. They threw the ball more on first down than they ran it. I mean, when's the last time? I mean, we'd have to get some stats guys in here to say the last time LSU literally threw the ball more times than they ran it on first down. And it's been impressive. That first series, I mean, you saw 4 receivers, you saw a designated quarterback run, you saw a wildcat, you saw a screen pass, all in the first series. There was one point in the second quarter, I looked at Gordy and I said, hey, he is chopping them up right now. He really was. Outside of the penalties and a couple plays that could have went either way, LSU was really close to taking that game over and not letting Auburn back. The penalties really hurt them in key spots, or it would have been maybe a 17-point swing the other way.
You've been on teams that every team stresses take care of the football and eliminate the penalties, okay? So on teams that you've played on that have committed a lot of penalties and teams that you've played on that haven't committed a lot of penalties, what's been the glue? Right. What's the thing? Because, it was frustrating. I mean, if you lose that game, if LSU loses that game, they looked undisciplined.
Absolutely.
We would be saying they were a very undisciplined looking team, but because they won, it kind of covers it up.
I think it all starts with the quarterback, especially offensively. I mean, when you're on offense, the quarterback makes everything go, cadence or whatever it is. You saw a cadence there when Clyde Edwards-Helaire was in there in the wildcat position because he's not used to playing it. That's on the quarterback. And so for me, Joe Burrow is the guy that's got to keep the offense kind of cool, calm, and collected, like you mentioned, because the high highs and the low lows, you can't tell with Joe Burrow. When he comes back to the sideline, when he hit Derek Dillon on the pass, he just kind of comes back and has this look on his face, just like he just threw an interception. I mean, that's a good thing in your quarterback, that you have the same moniker no matter what's going on. And for me, he's been impressive, and he's the guy that's going to kind of make all those things go away if they're going to go away. On the road, you're going to see some false starts. You're going to see some different things. Austin Deculus got one in the opening drive. It's his first game to ever start really in any kind of stadium like that, because when you play against Southeastern, obviously it's a little bit different than when you're going on the plains and playing in an SEC opener. He got thrown in there against Florida a little bit but didn't start the game. So those things are going to happen. You just got to clean them up, and it all starts with the quarterback for me, and he's got the personality to kind of fix everything that's going wrong as far as undisciplined type stuff.
You know, Buzz, I always talk about it on this show that Buzz is the best golfer friend that I have. You know, anybody who's a regular on the show, any of my close friends, Buzz has the advantage. He's the best, most consistent golfer. Although it's the Florida thing, I don't know what happened over there in Miami. He had
like
two
3.5
rounds
points
in the 90s. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, and so did everybody else. But look, it's fine.
Okay, but anyway, that said, Buzz, kicking is a lot like golf. I mean, you know, putting or the mental mano a mano, me and the ball type of thing. Cole Tracy, what he's doing is unbelievable from a standpoint of what a breath of fresh air for this program that has been struggling the last couple of years in that category.
I mean, like if the toe just goes a little more, I mean, he misses it. That's what's so crazy about the game of football. And I don't know, you being a football guy, Jacob, I mean, it's amazing that kicking can be such a big part of the game. And I know you've got
the guy that's over there by himself on the other field can make a difference and win and lose.
Make a difference.
To me, it's amazing how, and every fan base, this isn't just talking about LSU, every fan base or every casual fan doesn't understand how important special teams is to a team. Look at LSU special teams now from where they were a year ago when they were going for it on fourth down because they couldn't make a field goal.
Right.
They lost a bowl game against Notre Dame because they couldn't make a field goal. Maybe lost 2 games last year because they couldn't do it. They're punting better. Their coverage is better. Their field goal kicking, I mean, is through the roof right now. Greg McMahon has done an outstanding job, and it's one of those phases where you don't notice it really. But you've got to notice it. It is a weapon for LSU this year. The fact that they can set up Cole Tracy for a 42-yard game winner. Last year, they would have had to try to score.
Yeah.
They would have had to try to score a touchdown or at least get down to the 10-yard line.
Get it way more.
I mean, they were setting up for a 42-yard field goal. They were running to try to center it up because they knew Cole Tracy would be able to kick it. So that stuff's huge.
Made me nervous, though. I wish we could have got a little more yardage.
By the way,
if you're Cole Tracy, can we get a little more?
By the way, Will Lutz of the Saints in a dome missed the 41-yarder the next day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we take it for granted. Like Cole Tracy just made it look like so easy.
Yeah.
But when you turn on the NFL the next day on turf in a dome and a guy misses that same field goal, you go, wow, that's how special it was. By the way, you don't know this, but Jacob, but Buzzy was a quarterback in college at East Ascension.
High school.
With the Spartans. Glenn Dorsey. Glenn Dorsey.
I mean, we go way back.
Your tight end played in the NFL.
Yeah, Sean Nelson from Southern Miss. So look.
And Bursa J.
But I don't like to brag. I don't like to talk a lot about it, but we had a team. I mean, and look, I could get it around a little bit, okay?
You were the Joe Burrow of VA.
I was the cool, calm, collected, just I may only go like 5 for 20, but those 5 were going to be big.
Yeah.
It was like Joe Burrow.
Did you really have games where you had 5 for 20?
No shot, but I'm just saying. Sometimes it wasn't always 50%, but I mean, it was the win. We got the win.
All right, Jacob, last thing before I let you go. LSU, this win over Auburn, how do you kind of see it projecting for the rest of the season?
I mean, I think it takes you to a lot of different places. I thought it was the hardest point on their schedule was go to Auburn and beat Auburn. Now you've got the rest of your games that everybody was doubting you at home. I mean, that is huge. Yeah. And so this win can take you to another level. You were feeling good about yourself after Miami. This takes you 3 steps up the ladder. Now you believe you can beat Mississippi State, Georgia, Alabama at home. You think you've got a shot in all those. And having all 3 of your toughest games on your schedule in Tiger Stadium, one of the toughest places to play, this win was the biggest win because it was on the road. Now you're playing with house money, but still 3 teams that you've got to go out there and play good football. Not saying Auburn was the best team on their schedule,
right?
But this is the one you looked at saying, man, how do they win this game?
Sure.
Is it week 5 that the poll comes out, the playoff, or is it week 6? I can't remember.
6.
It's 6, yeah. I was wondering if they, they got a chance. Hey, if you go week 6, I guess would be Florida. So if you go 6-0, you win the game on the road at Florida, it'll be fun when that playoff comes out.
So nothing to be concerned about with Louisiana Tech tonight.
I think, look, I think after Troy last year, Louisiana Tech's done this to so many people. Look, they've been giant slayers. They've beaten Alabama. They've beaten so many great teams in their history. I can't imagine Coach Orgeron being from Louisiana, knowing how many great players have played Louisiana Tech, Terry Bradshaw, Joe Ferguson. We can go down the list. I don't think he's going to let him slide. Pat Tilley, that's right. Kinfolk.
Should be in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. I'm trying. All right, he's Jacob Hester. Thank you, Jacob, for joining us. Appreciate it. We'll take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, presented by LeBears Casino. This is Sports Shorts.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans born to...
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Shorts, presented by LeBears Casino. And a special thanks to Jacob Hester, who joined us last segment. We'll have Michael Cobble of WBRZ, ABC Sports in Baton Rouge, joining us in a little bit. Let's talk a little Saints. The Saints last weekend against the Cleveland Browns. I don't know that there's been very few games in Saints history where I felt guilty about a win. Mm-hmm. Like I guess because the Browns I'm kind of pulling for, right? As a part of me after watching Hard Knocks and everything they've been through, I was all in on the Hard Knocks series during training camp. I know a little bit about the team. I liked some of the people involved. Obviously, I'm pulling for Jarvis Landry. I'm hoping they get a couple wins this year. I didn't want them to beat the Saints, but at the same time, I could feel their pain on a different level, being like I had a little peek behind the curtain and know what's going on a little bit with the Browns. But at the same time, the Browns deserve to win the game. The Browns played better than the Saints. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Hoodats through the first 2 weeks. I mean, if they would have started off 0-2 with the 2 games at home, that means that the rest of your schedule, you're at a deficit as far as being home versus road. That would have been unbelievable. Yeah. They survived, and they're 1-1, but, man, they got some issues.
Well, and like you said, I mean, you start off 0-2, and you got the Falcons coming up this week at Atlanta or in Atlanta, and then the Giants on the road as well. I mean, you're right, Ronnie. It could have, and they're still not out of the water as far as it being easy. I mean, there's a concern. There's a big concern, and I mean, after the first game, I really thought, I said, look, the Saints aren't going to give up 48 points every game. I mean, to me, that was just a little bit of out of left field, kind of the what do they talk about, the bell curve? That was the outlier there. I mean, I don't know that they'll give up 48 points, although that defense, does have some issues. I think that was a little bit of an outlier. But I agree with you, Ronnie. The Browns, they really deserve to win that game. And, you can bring up the kicker. I mean, that's the easy one there. If he just makes –
by the way, he got cut on Monday.
He did. He got cut. If he just makes half the attempts, they win the game. Can the Browns win a game the rest of the year? I mean, this has got to be detrimental to them.
I think the Browns are going to win. Matter of fact, but the thing about it is the Saints' issues that are concerning. What did we think about this team going into the season? We thought the defense was much improved, that this defense had a chance to be a top 10 defense in the NFL with the experience they had last year where they were a middle-of-the-pack defense, added some acquisitions. Hasn't been the case through the first 2 weeks. Lattimore was the Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah, what's happened to him?
And an all-pro player, and he doesn't look like that. Didn't have a good camp. Hasn't played, second week was better than the first week, obviously. But, he was a shut-down corner. Like, okay, worry about everybody else. Don't throw it at Lattimore. Well, now you can throw at Lattimore. Offensively, they're missing Ingram through the first 4 games because the running game is not the same, which then sets up Kamara, and he doesn't look the same. So they've just got and the way I break up in the NFL, the way I break up the seasons is into 4 quadrants, right? You play 4, 4, 4, and 4 because you got 16 games, and ideally your goal is to go 3-1. In all 4 of those games, you'll end up 12-4. If the Saints can just be 2-2 in the first 4 games, get Ingram back, figure it out, regroup. If they can just go 2-2 in their first 4 games, then I think they will have been able to survive the ooginess and can kind of fix things the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree. And look, they're talking about how it's going to be difficult to go into Atlanta. I know it's a division rival, but
Atlanta's not right now.
They're not right now. They've got some injuries on that defense, but the Saints, Atlanta's the last team I'm scared of as far as playing the Saints. I feel like the Saints play them as good as anybody that's on their schedule.
But it's Tampa and Carolina.
Right, that we can't beat. But you're right, Ronnie. I think there's a little concern, which we've never really said this before in the Drew Brees era. You feel like there's a little concern on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously the defense needs to stop giving up 48 points, but you feel like on the offensive side of the ball, they're just not clicking.
Well, Drew missed some throws last week.
Drew Brees missed some throws.
He missed some touchdown throws.
That's unlike him. And they've got to get Ingram back or Kamara really rolling because they've got to take the pressure off of Brees. And so offensively, they need to get better as well.
The throw early in the game to Ted Ginn Jr. deep, Drew didn't have enough on it. I mean, Ginn was open by 5-10 yards initially, and we couldn't get it to him. First signs of maybe being old and aging and the end being near. Look, not ready to put, Drew Brees down right now and to say he needs to retire or anything like that. But you can see the end is near, right? When he throws the deep ball, he's got to throw it on the line. He can't throw the big archer because he doesn't have the arm strength for that. And Ginn is a streaker, and he couldn't get his feet set, get the lane to take the crow hop to throw it, and he didn't have enough arm strength. If you can show an NFL defense that you don't have enough arm strength to throw the ball 50 yards down the field, the safeties start to creep up, and that makes that passing game a lot more difficult. And oh, by the way, there were some other throws that Drew just didn't make. It wasn't one of his best games. But no, by the way, he still only had like 8 incompletions. I'm talking about there were 3 or 4 throws that could have made the difference of touchdowns that were out there. So this team is just discombobulated all the way around. And that said, even if they can somehow just get to 2-2 through the first 4, you got to believe Tampa Bay is going to wake up and realize they're Tampa Bay at some point. I mean, come on. We can't get their quarterback back,
Jameis
Winston back fast enough. Not that they're going to make a change. We just need the controversy. We just need Winston on the sidelines. Fitzgerald looking over there, seeing him. Maybe Winston's got some boys on the team that think he should be the quarterback. And by the way, I mean, is that unbelievable?
Yeah, Conor McGregor. I thought the same thing.
That's not Conor McGregor on the left.
I know,
but I mean,
like, I realize that, but
we always thought that. But when Fitzgerald came to the press conference, by the way, wearing Ted Ginn Jr.'s, that's his gold.
Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, that was Deshaun Jackson, right? I'm sorry. That was Deshaun Jackson's jacket and glasses and all that. I mean, that looks even more like Conor McGregor than we thought before. I mean, it's unbelievable.
What a hoot. I didn't realize he had been in the league as long as he's been. I didn't realize he was a salty vet like he is. Yeah. And that's funny. I'm a McGregor fan. I like his antics.
And Deshaun Jackson came out. There's no controversy. He came out and said, you can't make that change. That guy's red hot. We can't put him on the side and put Jameis Winston in when the suspension's up. And I don't think there's any way. I mean, I guess there's a way. If Fitzgerald goes out there this week and throws 4 interceptions and they lose, then okay, fine. But he's not. He's not going to do that. There's no way. By the way, he set an NFL record. He's the first quarterback to throw for 4 touchdowns and 400 yards passing in the first 2 games of the season. In the history of the NFL. Yeah, Tom Brady didn't do it. Peyton Manning didn't do it. Drew Brees didn't do it.
But you know who did? Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick. Unbelievable.
Ron, I got to ask you. I want to get back on the Saints. We talked about a little bit of offensive woes, and again, for the Saints standard, that doesn't mean Drew Brees is not playing really well. He didn't have that. He had very little incompletions. But who's the best receiver on the Saints right now?
By the way, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Can we not?
Can you? Were you just going to let me say Fitzgerald? I think I said Fitzgerald.
No, you were all over it.
You were saying Fitzpatrick. No, you were saying Fitzpatrick.
I think I messed up. Anyway,
who's the Saints'
best receiver? We can go back and edit it. Michael T.
Michael Thomas.
Of course. How good is he compared to the great receivers that Drew Brees had?
He's the best he's ever had.
He's the best.
He's better than Joe Horn. He's better than Colston. Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
No, because here's the thing. He is a combination of those guys, right? Colston didn't have the speed that Thomas has.
He didn't.
He didn't have probably the physicality. He had some physicality. Colston's physicality was just his size. Thomas has got some vigor. He's got some toughness to him. He's got some, pissed offness about him that he goes up and attacks the football. So he's got the speed of a Joe Horn and the route running of a Joe Horn, but he's got that size and all of a Colston. He's the perfect combination. Guy's got 30 catches through the first 2 weeks. Something like that.
He had,
Michael Thomas got 28 receptions,
28 catches,
269 yards,
more than anybody in the first 2 weeks of the season in NFL history.
3 touchdowns. No. And so I guess my point is, I just want to make sure. I knew he was the best receiver too. I just wanted to make sure that how good is he compared to guys that Drew Brees has had in the past. I mean, Colston's. He's as good as there was in Saints history.
Yeah. Hall of Famer.
Where is there a tight end that needs to be? You feel like with the years Drew Brees was really, that offense was really clicking. You had the Shockies. You had, Benjamin Watson. Who's the other cat?
Lance Moore. You had him in the slot.
But, of course, the big guy.
Devery.
But the big guy. Why can't I think of his Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham, who was just unbelievable.
Later on. Yeah.
I don't know. You just feel like maybe there needs to be another target or two that Brees can go after.
Well, either that or Drew's just got to do a better job of spreading it around. But, hey, Mike throws it to Michael Thomas. He catches it.
Sure, I'm with you.
And so, look, if Michael Thomas got 28 catches through the first 2 weeks, we need to start looking up what the passing record is for receptions in a season because he's going to get that this year. He's Buzzy Heidel. I'm Ronnie Rance. We'll take a break. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino. Be back right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Saints a 3-point dog this week against the Atlanta Falcons.
Professional's so hard. I mean, am I wrong? Is it not harder than college?
Yes, because in college you generally know who's going to win or lose.
Right.
It's just a matter of the spread.
That's exactly right.
In the NFL, anybody can beat anybody.
That's right.
I mean,
Like,
unless the
that's
Browns are playing the Patriots or something
I just
like
feel
that.
like that. Yeah, that's such a let's just throw our money up and hope at that point.
Yeah.
Which you like to do.
Oh,
So,
I'm hoping all day long.
But
what I like to bet in the NFL more than anything is the over/under, right?
Sure.
Because
I'm with
it's
you there.
hard enough to know who's going to win or lose, but the over/under.
You can get it's a better
and plus you don't have to watch a game pulling for you just pulling for either 4 points or not for points. I generally think, and I'm curious to track it at the end of the year. And you would think if I was going to gamble my hard-earned money that I would actually have some kind of tracking system. I don't, but I would be curious to see at the end of the year over under what the numbers are, because going into the season, my overall thought was there's going to be more overs than unders this year because of all the flags. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't play a cornerback in this league. I mean, because it's such an offensive-minded game and people getting ejected and tossed out and all that sort of thing, I just in theory think that the over is going to be in play.
Yeah, we got to track this.
So
Ryan.
You don't think Vegas accounts for that?
No, sure
also?
they do. Sure they do. Absolutely.
I think they probably do, but I haven't seen it.
Probably they take everything into account.
No, but I mean it hasn't been super noticeable.
Yeah.
It's not like over-unders are in the 60s or something. It's not like the over-unders have changed a ton.
Talking about touching the quarterback, this whole thing with Aaron Rodgers over the last few days.
So, Tony coming in with some good stuff there. All right, so I love the fact that Aaron Rodgers finally came out and Aaron Rodgers finally said that he believes that the roughing the passer penalty has just been a little bit too much. That it's too sensitive. I mean, there's too many flags being thrown for roughing the passer that aren't roughing the passer. And look, the fact that not only did a quarterback say it, but one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL said it, Mr. Discount Double Check. And let me stop on that for a second. Did anybody notice the commercial that Aaron Rodgers did? And I know Tony's going to get excited because we're going to talk about it. But Aaron Rodgers did a commercial, and it made its debut about 2 weeks ago. And it was with a State Farm insurance agent. So he said, "Hey, this is my State Farm insurance agent." And the State Farm insurance agent's actually an agent that's in Tempe, Arizona, but he used to be a sportscaster in Lafayette. and it's Patrick Menace.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the guy.
And so is it Pat Menace, his brother?
I thought I twigged him.
His brother was the tennis coach at LSU. I think maybe that's Patrick Menace. All right. But anyway, the State Farm agent in the Tony Menace is the former. Yes, it's Patrick Menace. Tony Menace is the former tennis coach at LSU. All right, women's tennis coach at LSU. But Patrick Menace, who's a State Farm insurance agent in Tempe, doing great. But for a long, long time, he was a sportscaster at KTC in Lafayette. I mean,
a
for
very
years.
popular one, too.
Yeah, and he did a great job, good guy. And I hadn't seen him in a few years and kind of forgot that's what he was doing. Well, anyway, pops up. He must have won some kind of contest or something.
To win the commercial bid.
Yeah, so he is in the commercial. Hi, I'm Patrick Menace, of State Farm. And Aaron Rodgers introduces him.
He puts his arm around Aaron Rodgers and just does
No, he doesn't do that. He did that. But you need to see the commercial. You appreciate being a former State Farm guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really, really cool. I was like, oh, look what he's doing.
And the other agent comes up and says, I didn't anticipate having a rivalry today, but here we are.
There you go. And Tony, of course, was a longtime water skier for UL Lafayette, and he watched Patrick Menace many, many times.
USL. It was USL when he was there.
back then when he was there. No, you were?
Actually, for 1 year it was USL,
No,
and then it transitioned.
Right. I corrected you because you didn't know. I don't know if you remember that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, because you got your Raging Cajun blood in you.
I've got blood down there, too.
I got you. I was a year out.
Yeah. So you were wrong, but we got you corrected.
Who was your cousin who played for the Raging Cajuns?
Rick Heidel.
He
was the starting shortstop on the 2000 team.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that peroxide their hair.
They went
2000.
blind. They went blind.
They won a couple games over.
They finished third that year.
No, Paul didn't win a couple his first couple of times.
Yeah, Tony did though.
Yeah.
Tony Robichaux, that is, not Tony, our producer.
But anyway, look, that's pretty cool.
I don't know where we got on that.
No, it was just good to see Tony Menace on the State Farm insurance commercial. That's where we were getting
with Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't like all the penalties being thrown for roughing the passer.
Let's bring it back.
Can we just bring it back real quick?
Back?
And I'll give you my opinion on it.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
By the way, I'm going
to take a break and drink something while you.
I'm going with the headset in the studio now.
I don't know why.
Yeah, T-Bob told me it's a professional thing to do. Yeah, no, you put the headset on.
But T-Bob's not on TV. He's doing radio. This is a TV and radio show.
Well, I know, but I mean, you've seen Mike and Mike have the headsets on before while they're doing
is on TV in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's on the stream. It's not on television. It's a stream. It's a video stream.
Regardless, he made a point, and I liked it. He said, "I've got to be able to hear myself for it to work, and I think I have to hear myself."
So if it's good enough for T-Bob, it's good enough for Buzzy. Is that the deal?
That's what we're going with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've filled in a couple times. Me and T-Bob are tight now on the morning show.
I forgot. Yeah.
Real quick, I agree with Rodgers. Here's my biggest thing on the roughing the passer. I'm cool. I get it. You go up to the face, around the head area, throw the flag. Can we not throw the flag if it's like a half a second? You got 300-pound men. They can't stop themselves. And it's a half a second after he delivers it and we hit somebody and we throw the flag. Like the guy could have made a stop, at full speed. That's the only issue I have with the roughing the passer. I get it. You go low, don't bust out the guy's knee, or you go real high around his face, throw the flag. But I don't like when it's a roughing the passer, when it's a get the throw off and then a half a second later he hits him with a clean, nice hit. Just let him play football. That's my thoughts.
By the way, as a 300-pound man, I can assure you that it is tough to stop your momentum when you're moving forward, whether you're hitting a quarterback or not.
Good point.
It's a difficult thing to do. And the idea that you can somehow not land on top of someone when you're hitting them and falling down, impossible.
And it's just
impossible.
It's just like, I get the whole.
You know what they need to do? The guys that make these rules, these silly guys that are in an office in New York City, named Feinberg or something, that they're coming up with these rules. They need to put on that sumo outfit. You go to a minor league baseball game and the people put on the sumo outfits and then they bump into each other. It's funny, right? The guy in New York in the 17th story of some office building needs to put on the sumo and try to sack the quarterback and see if he can stop and see if his momentum can stop. It's the same thing. They can't. Once you go timber, it's over. You can't stop. It's ridiculous. The fact that Aaron Rodgers came out and he's in support of, hey, let's toughen up the rule. Let's not be so sensitive on the quarterback. I'm 100% agreement. That said, they're never going to change
I
it.
know.
It's only going to continue to get worse.
Yeah.
I've got an idea. Let's put one of the sensors in the helmet. Okay, let's put some of those sensors in the helmet of the quarterback.
If it goes off, if the red light goes
yes.
off, you hit him too hard.
No, not him. Him. If you hit the helmet, we're not worried about the guy's midsection. If somebody gets hit in the head, if a quarterback gets hit in the head, the sensor goes off. Maybe it vibrates a side judge in the pocket or something. He throws the flag because the sensor went off. They review the sensor, make sure it wasn't a malfunctioning sensor. Then they throw the flag. Other than that, they shouldn't.
I think they're trying that for the concussion, aren't they?
I think they are.
Yeah.
Same concept. If the helmet gets touched, throw the flag. If not, let them be men and play ball.
Yeah, but then you're going to have the quarterback get hit and whack himself on the head. And then, it's just the sensor's going to go off.
I thought I had a good idea, but you just ruined it for me.
Tom Brady's going to cheat and do it.
Yeah, he'll make sure one of his linemen hit him in the back of the head when the sensor goes off. That's pretty good, Buzz. You got me. I'm going to have to come up with something new. He's Buzzy Heidel. I'm Ronnie Rance. This is Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's Casino. When we come back, we'll hear from Michael Cobble. He'll be here on set with WBRZ. We'll talk to him coming up next.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
On 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
In the wheels of steel, we got Tony filling us in on everything Ragin' Cajun, Buzzy Heidel, Ronnie Rance, and joining us from WBRZ, Michael Cobble, who let's get things straight, because before I go off the rails, it was Tony and Pat. I got them flipped up. Tony Menace.
Tony Menace, former LSU tennis player. Pat Menace, former sportscaster.
Right.
Got into medical sales in North Carolina. Now apparently he's a State Farm agent
in Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah. Doing spots.
So he was the one, Pat, not Tony, that was on the Aaron Rodgers State Farm commercial. That's going to be good for business, Buzz, being an insurance guy.
Yeah, and if State Farm would probably use the money they paid Rodgers to lower their premiums, maybe they'd be better.
So you're obviously not a State Farm guy anymore.
I do. We're independent insurance now. Heido and Wamskin with the Morris Insurance Group, and Ronnie. I mean, we've got the best rates. We do some insurance with you. Or you do some insurance with us, I should say. And we've got the best rates. You can ask Joel Davis. You call the phone. I answer every time. So give me a call. Let's run some quotes. 225-931-8531. Cabo, you can give us you don't even have to call me. Just shoot me an email.
I'm going to plug that in there right now.
Yeah, 225-931-8531. Give me a call, and we'll look at your insurance. Taylor. But no, State Farm, good company. I'm being facetious there. And they do have good commercials.
Buzz, I don't know about the headsets. They're kind of throwing me off.
You can take them off.
I was trying to. Maybe I should do like one, just like a one, like a half and half type thing.
And for those that are listening on the radio, I'm headset-less.
Yeah. And now I am too.
And Cobble is too.
I was joining Buzzy there for a minute, but I had to jump off the bandwagon.
I'm just gonna go with it though.
I think it's good for you.
It's your thing. Yeah.
No, I think it's a Buzz thing because it gets you some credibility too for those two.
The jacket looks nice too. I didn't get the memo. I would have wanted.
Nobody does. Ron forgets that in the memo.
Yeah, I like to show up my guests. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Well done, Ron.
All right, so Michael Cobble been covering LSU sports for many moons. How many years?
2018.
Wow. So your first year, LSU goes to the College World Series.
3 weeks onto the job, I'm in Omaha.
Oh, that's a pretty nice gig.
Not a bad gig if you can get it, huh?
Yeah, and you thought that was going to happen every year.
So it was funny, Lee Zurich is now like a big shot anchor down in New Orleans, doing all these investigations.
Serious guy.
Yeah. He was the weekend sports guy. Lee and I went to Omaha. I covered the Cajuns, the Blondies.
Yeah. Rick Heidel's of the world.
And Lee covered the LSU. And then, once the Cajuns washed out, we covered the Tigers together. But, yeah, it was pretty amazing times.
So you saw, let's see, 2 baseball national championships, 2 football national championships, and a Super Bowl.
And a couple of Super Bowls. Been to a couple of Super Bowls. I didn't go to the Final Four.
You didn't?
No, that's another crazy story.
Yeah. We don't want to talk about that. So
no, it was fine. It was fine. It was just an odd deal. The station didn't want to pay for us to go to the first.
So nobody went. It wasn't like they chose somebody over you.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay,
no, they chose Chad Sabany to cover the Saints Super Bowl in Miami.
Oh, nice.
When he was working with us. Yeah.
Nice.
And so he got to go, which was good for him because, he loves New Orleans and the Saints and stuff. And they had the A-team back in the studio to cover the post game.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need that. You need that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate that, years of service.
So no coverage at the Final Four.
Yeah, well, but what happened, if I recall correctly, it was in Jacksonville, the first round or something like this, and they didn't think they were going to win, so they didn't want to pay us. They didn't want to pay our freight to go. And with the men's basketball tournament, if you don't cover the first or second round, you don't get to advance.
Shut up.
How about them apples, huh?
Wow.
Just another reason to hate the NCAA.
Wow.
So.
No jumping on the bandwagon.
Couldn't jump on the bandwagon.
That's
so you know what we did? You know what? We bought tickets to the ball game. Brian Davies, my former Sports Weekend reporter, he went, I think, had tickets. I'm pretty sure it was Davies. It may have been Andy Pepper. But either way, he had just like Joe Blow tickets.
And so was doing.
And when they lost, he scalped the final tickets.
Wow,
what a great story!
How about that, huh?
It's good. So a lot of packages on what it's like to be a fan at the Final Four.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk to you at the team hotel. right. Hey, we're catching up with the Tigers after practice.
Wow. So tough sledding for the Ville Platte Gazette that wants to get in there in the Final Four. No go for you.
You got to drop dime, from the beginning all the way through. It's kind of like Omaha now. I mean, the last time I was with the team, we were there 14, 15 days.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
How does a family or a fan, supposed to do that? It's crazy. They have to figure out something better.
Well, Zach Von Rosenberg, who is the punter for LSU.
Never heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, loves Paul. I mean, Paul loves him. But Zach in 2009 when they won the national championship game and the World Series that Buzzy was on, it's famous how he went, and he even talked about it recently.
Like 2 weeks, I guess.
How
he
just jumped in a car.
He camped
$27 in his wallet.
Mooching off of people's tailgate food and stuff and all that. But I mean, you almost have to do it that way.
Buzz can attest to it. I mean, you could probably live pretty well off LSU fans in Omaha.
God.
That theory alone, just showing up at a restaurant. Oh, hey! Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't. Okay, sure, I will.
Okay,
Like one of those deals. So
unbelievable.
No, it's a what I was going to say about the Von Rosenberg. Talking about the days in Omaha. You're right. It gets so lengthy. I mean, my parents were there. Literally, I think they got there, and I don't think they fully understood. You know, they're like, we're just going to Omaha, and then all of a sudden we start winning, and then we got an off day.
$10,000.
No, literally, they're like, oh goodness, like we're going to be here 2 more weeks.
Line of credit. What's the house worth, honey? You know, you start thinking,
just incredible. You're right. How families have to go up there, and if they want to see their boys play, I mean, they're going to be there for a while. Pack a lunch.
lot of Sam's Club snack packs in the room.
Right.
You know, like stay at the hotel with the free breakfast.
Yes.
Sharing rooms with other families. You know, and then finding a way to make it work.
Absolutely.
So,
but it's all worth it if they win, Buzz. All worth it they win. By the way, DJ LeMahieu, I don't know what growth hormone he's on or something, but he looks like a tight end now.
He's huge.
And he
I
looked
haven't seen him, yeah?
Oh,
he was always 6'4".
He's got a big trunk, but he's a grown man now. Legs and everything.
Huh?
Yeah. Well,
what are we talking about here, Ron?
So, what is your favorite thing to cover, Cobbs? 18 years on the beat over there at BRZ. Not that they send you to everything to cover, but if you can get in, what do you like covering?
I tell you what I love covering. Honestly, I like the baseball team. I was speaking to a civic group this week and just talking about that. The accessibility that you get with the baseball guys. You just get to know them. You know, I've known Buzzy since he played. You know, and it's one of those deals where you find out more about them as a person, and therefore you kind of root for them as a person, not necessarily the team. I mean, I told the guys, I think I kind of rained on their parade. I don't really care who wins or loses, but I want them to succeed as people, and so you get a rooting interest. I wish more.
Don't say that.
More coaches would understand that. The better you know their team, the better you can tell their story. And I think most coaches are so insulary that they want to protect the team. They don't understand that maybe they're doing their team a disservice in some aspects. Now, but I've been around enough media too that are willing to burn bridges just to get the story out there to start climbing their careers. And it's a career choice that you make as a young journalist, I guess.
I think you're right, though. I think that was the big thing, even with Joe Burrow. I think everyone wanted to interview him to get to know the kid. Nobody knew anything about him, and he's obviously playing well, and you want to be able to cover him and have the stories that maybe nobody else has because you know him personally.
I don't even need to know the stories that nobody else has. I want to know the guy. Like, what kind of is he? A smart guy? Is he a guy that can understand the questions and roll with the punches? Is he, just simple things like that.
Yeah, can you joke with him a little bit and he joke? How his personality is. Sure, I'm with you on that. By the way, I got to ask you a question, Michael. I was listening to you were live on one broadcast and you talked about Austin Bain. I mean, he was your favorite player that year, right?
Yeah.
From Ascension Parish, just that year though.
He was one of my favorite players.
He's not. But we're both from Ascension Parish. I just want to make sure.
No one can top you.
Okay,
Buzz.
I just want to make sure because when I heard
the box,
the dual sport athlete, that is Buzzy Heidel. Right. Austin, had his
was he ever the Channel 2 high school player of the week?
Austin Bain? No, I never heard of the guy. What?
Yeah.
I just heard it one day watching it with my family, and it just it stung a little bit. I know we've had some.
Well, it's been a while since you've been on the highlight reel over at Channel 2. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, Jock puts me on from time to
time. That's Louisiana's news channel. They're here to hammer home the Gonzalez angle, as much as possible.
But this year, LSU football.
Get us back on track.
Yeah. Wow.
It is a sports program, right?
This year, LSU football. Thanks for the 3 people that have hung in there the last few minutes with us. Best story so far through 3 games LSU football this year.
The kicker, Cole Tracy. The problem is everybody's hammering that one home. And the best part of that story is his dad's bar.
Tell me about it.
Have you seen that thing, for crying out loud, on the videos? Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I hadn't seen the video.
Oh, yeah. That's the best one when they're in California, right, Michael?
Yeah. So they've had a couple of videos. Don't worry about us. We're just doing a radio show. They're doing a couple of videos watching Cole kick the game winner, and they're in Cole's house over in California. And I don't know what his dad does if he he's like Jed Clampett and found the oil.
He does pretty well. I mean, his kid went to college in New England.
He's doing pretty well
at a Division II.
They're touring the house, going nuts, watching, and then they get into this extra wing, which is like a legit bar. It could give Chili's a run for their money. It's that big.
That's what you went with, huh? No. All the options. Well, you went Chili's.
I was thinking it wasn't like a Chimes. Okay. It wasn't like a
were you anti Brandon Landry and walk-ons or something?
No, it wasn't even walk-ons. I'm trying to
You're trying to really describe.
I'm trying to tear it down a level, right? So it's not like
it's not walk-ons, but it's better than Chili's. Got it.
It's like a Chili's. It's not. It's like but it's at this dude's house. I wouldn't be surprised if they had some swinging,
Saloon
doors with some video poker in the corner somewhere.
Nice. Yeah.
It was legit. But I mean, the team. Kudos to the coaches. We've ragged on them so hard. And so much doubt surrounding this program. But they had those boys ready to play against Auburn. They had a game plan. They stayed aggressive with it even when they were behind. I think that was the most impressive thing. To come out, some fake punts, whatever. It didn't work, but they wanted to keep pushing the ball, and they did.
Whenever I go to Chili's, Buzz, and look, Chili's used to be the bomb for me. And the Chili's on College in the 90s.
Forget about warehouse.
The chicken crispers, mashed potatoes with the white gravy, and the corn on the cob with the stick. I'm telling you right now, top 10 meal.
Those 3
I've ever
tacos
had.
that you could get for like $5 back in the day.
But it's not the same anymore. The Chili's is not the same. The chicken crispers aren't as crisp. I don't know what's up. And that the honey mustard to dip it in. God, I'm hungry. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Sports Shorts. We'll talk some sports. We'll promise next.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Well, we're going to be dropping his name soon from the intro bumper. Joel Davis, he will be back with us next week. He's been out the last couple of weeks. But he'll be back next week to give us his take on the Saints. Let's talk about the Saints here for a minute. 1-1 so far. And like I mentioned last segment, before you game here, Cobbs, I first time ever, I actually kind of felt guilty as a Saints fan about the win because they didn't deserve it. I mean, the Browns outplayed them.
I'm like, where are you going with this? First time ever you thought, like, the Saints were going to start 0-2? No, because I've never seen that story before. But
by the way, their kicker, the Browns cut him on Monday. The Vikings cut their kicker after the game. Like before the press conference, they cut their kicker, which I'm okay with because I had Vikings -1.
It's going to be the next reality show. Like, how quick do you cut a kicker?
I had Vikings -1, and I had the Browns to score over 20.5. So any of those field goals, I win the they'll cut them.
So is it just because like they have one job, anybody can kick? Yeah. No, not anybody, but like they can just go find somebody because like as soon as the DB gets burnt, they don't just cut him after the game. I mean, why is it so strict?
It's absolutely that. It's because there's such a wealth of kickers that they can go out there and try somebody else.
But and because they're mental midgets.
Because
they are mental midgets. They miss one field goal and it's like and they can't make another kick. It's unbelievable. It's like the guy that asked the pretty girl out and she says no, and he goes in the corner and he never asks another girl out. Like, I mean, what's up? You got to get back in there and swing. You got to get back in there and kick.
Tell him.
If you missed the putt, Buzz, you got to stand over the next one with some confidence.
You got to ask that girl out even if she says no.
Yes. You don't stalk her. You just I am her, or a DM her or whatever. I don't know.
Yahoo Messenger.
You slide up into DMs.
You hit her up on MySpace and you ask her out.
You get a little AOL online. And Ron, showing your age there, bud.
Yeah, you can tell I'm down with the kids. I'm down with the hip hop.
You are.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What about
Buzz?
those Saints?
No, I got nothing. I mean, I got nothing on it.
You got the headphones on. You should have something.
But nothing's in the ear. Yeah, I got nothing in the ear.
My goodness, can we get some like low-level bumper music so that when there is dead air, we at least have something like just a low, like a 10% underneath us while we're going at it?
I'm glad I'm here to really add to the conversation.
Yeah.
You guys want to know anything about sports?
Tell us what you know. Tell us whatever you know that we don't get to hear in 3 minutes while Michael Cobble's doing the sports on night.
All right. Well, Sadiq Charles may not be playing against Louisiana Tech later tonight.
Thank you.
So that means that they're going to have to switch Badara Traore to the left tackle spot. They're going to keep Austin Deculus at the right spot.
Who I thought played well.
Who the offensive line really did play well against Auburn. You got to give him credit. And this will be the fourth combination on the offensive line. Now, granted, Louisiana Tech isn't the name brand, but they do have a great kid from West Feliciana, former Saint, Jalen Ferguson, Jazz Ferguson's twin brother, I think, or younger brother. And he's just been tearing it up. He's the guy that's got NFL future written all over him. He plays both sides. So O said, it doesn't really matter where they move Deculus or where they move Traore. He's going to get him eventually, So that'll be something to watch, tonight when the Tigers take on the Bulldogs. And the one thing that I want to see, I'll keep this rolling here for you, Ron. Just take a time out if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, get your IM settled over there. Just that the offense keeps rolling. I want to see them push that pace, continue to develop. I didn't see Miles Brennan at practice on Wednesday, which is our last chance to see him out there. I talked to somebody and they said that he was going to be practicing later in the afternoon. But I want to see, do they push the pace with the offense? But do they have a plan to get Miles into the game? Is this something that, this is a great opportunity to do it this week, maybe next week against Ole Miss, maybe Arkansas and Rice, but you have a 4-game window. And if you don't take advantage of it, then what are you doing?
The line is 20-21, depending on where you get it, for LSU against Louisiana Tech. Obviously the line's there for a purpose, Buzz. I think Louisiana Tech is a little bit overrated this year. When I watched the game against South Alabama, they really struggled. That's not a good South Alabama team.
They've only played two games so far this year, Southern and South Alabama.
And you can't really take anything from the Southern game. But the South Alabama game, South Alabama got beat by Texas State, I believe. Or no, did they come back and beat? I know it was like they struggled with Texas State out of Southland.
We're just looking at the numbers, and I know that doesn't tell the story, but they haven't been real impressive with just kind of the way that they move the ball. So does that mean that they're going to be gangbusters or terrible against LSU? No, it doesn't. But you're trying to look for an indicator of success, with what they have.
Yeah, the thing about Louisiana Tech for me is to me it's just more of a it's the tradition. You know, typically, usually they're good.
They're gonna air it out.
In and they can air it out. Their offense is kind of potent. They scare you because they can hit the big play from time to time. So, you know, not necessarily this year, but I think it's just the tradition of knowing they play teams well. They're coming into Tiger Stadium. You know, I'm with you, Ron. It could be a little overrated, but I see it being. I could see it being a close game going into the second half.
If that's the number, that's
Line's
a great
20.
number. I mean, because
it's
you don't
right on
expect
there.
LSU to put anybody away by 3 scores. You know,
I mean, you could see a 35-14 and feel like, okay, that was a good game for LSU. They won 35-14. They did what they needed to do. The defense held them to under 20, but that's 21. I mean, that's the number. So the question is whether you think LSU is going to stretch it. And I think that with this rule with the red shirts where they can play 4 games, it allows you to take advantage of that and be more aggressive with the second and third team guys, you know, when they get in there, you know, really give them a true look.
Right.
I think it encourages you to give them a true look a little more.
Well, here's something that I've
and
always...
people will understand, you know, the opponent will understand a little more. It's not so much about you're up 55-0, you take the ball out of the
I think those days are kind of over. I think every coach understands they got to get their team better, and they're just trying to make their team better. And that's the one thing that I've always questioned, like, do you take your starters out early in the year when they really need the work? I mean, you need to get these guys as many reps as possible, and having your quarterback turn around and hand it off isn't making anybody better in that regard. So get out there, run your offense. And most coaches don't do it, and it's kind of aggravating to me because you're not getting the same look in practice as you're getting in a game because your defense has probably seen that play. They know what's coming, you know. So I would prefer to see coaches really work their offense. And if it means, you know, we get the scores in the 60s, then so be it. You're paying the teams to come in here to play.
I'm going to go to the window in Vegas and put a little bit on the Tigers to cover the 20-21.
Well, when you say that, and now, you know, you got me thinking, do I think Dave Aranda's defense is going to give up more than 12? No, I don't. So now you're thinking, can LSU score
42
in the 30s? You know, I mean, are we stretching this to a 20-point game? Probably. So 35-12, 35-10.
I'm gonna give.
You doing it right now?
I'm gonna give. Yeah. I'm putting it in. No, I want to see what the latest up to date is on that line. I'm gonna scroll down here and see.
Show prep. Here we go.
I want to see what the over under is because my thought is I really do think. By the way, follow me here. Louisiana Tech came from behind to beat South Alabama on the road. That was a game they were supposed to win a lot easier. They were, you know, South Alabama covered. South Alabama came from behind with an epic fourth quarter comeback to beat Texas State out of the Southland Conference.
Bobcats.
You know, or out of the Sun Belt Conference.
So you're going with the A beats B, B beats.
Texas State used to be with the
transitive property of college football.
Sun Belt.
What's your point, Ron?
My point is that Texas State's not very good. They went on the road. They had a big lead, and South Alabama pulled a rabbit out of the hat and won a close game at home. I don't think South Alabama's not expected to be very good. Louisiana Tech struggled with them. I think this is a Louisiana Tech team that won 7 games a year ago. They won 6 games, won the bowl game over SMU. I think we're still thinking this is Louisiana Tech from 2 years ago that played in the Conference USA Championship. So I believe Dave Aranda's defense is gonna hold them down. Yeah. If you can hold down Auburn's defense in their place to 21 points, you can hold down this Louisiana Tech offense. So I think the score is going to be 14-17 at the most for Louisiana Tech. Offensively, I think you're going to get a chance to see some people play a little bit in the second half and open it up. I like a 42-17 cover.
Tigers.
That's only 51.
Over under 51.
Yeah, under 51. That's what I was looking for the ladies.
Ronnie went with the pulmonary theory there. That, you know, when I think we had somebody coming in like Villanova, and
went with the he beat.
Villanova beat Belmont, and Belmont lost to Towson, and Towson won this one, and he was trying to make a point of why this team was going to be better than you think.
Right,
better than you think.
When I was at Air Force, we played.
Let me short circuit that one. I like that. Huh?
Yeah.
We'd have the captains come down and they'd fly the airplanes over. No, I think that. Honestly, you don't really have to look any further than Southeastern rolling into town. I mean, you get a team in state; they're going to play above their heads because it's their chance to play inside Tiger Stadium, right? You know, and so does LSU still ride that high off of this Auburn victory, you know, or can they settle down and understand that it's a job, they got to do it and get it over with and play to their potential, you know? So it's a young team. Yeah, it's a bit of a trap game.
So do they win the next? I mean, 3 games.
Well, they
I mean,
definitely win the next 2 for sure.
Yeah, Ole Miss, and then you go
going into Florida.
Going into Florida.
So they could be 6-0.
Let's see what Florida's doing. Let's see what time the game is.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Florida lost at home to Kentucky, and it's
that's
their quarterback's not good. But
tough game. That's going to be.
It's just Florida in the swamp, man. I mean, it's
a throw the records out game.
Yeah, look, last year was crazy. They went in there and won on a missed extra
they had
point.
The Tom Petty, memorial service there at halftime.
Do not sing or play the band during the Tom Petty memorial service.
Ooh,
that was bad. That was bad.
That was.
I was wondering. I was wondering why everybody was booing.
Oh yeah.
I was in the press box.
I have the best video on Twitter of this irate Tom Petty
losing their mind,
yelling.
It's one guy in particular. He is.
Yeah. So last year, Tom Petty passed away that week. When they were going to the fourth quarter, the Florida band or maybe the PA was going to play one of Tom Petty's songs, and of course LSU started into its normal fourth quarter song.
Well, they waited, and then they didn't play the tribute, and so then LSU kicked in with their deal, and then they kicked in the tribute.
Yeah, so the tribute was late.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
A lot of finger pointing going on. All right, we need to take a break. One more segment with Michael Cobble. We'll take a time. I'll be back with more right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I can't hear you. I've got the headset on.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rantz, Buzzy Heidel, Michael Cobble of WBRZ joining us for a few more minutes. We were talking a little LSU. We were talking a little Saints. We're talking a little Pat Menace.
Yeah, State Farm.
State Farm Insurance.
State Farm rep.
Former KATC sportscaster over in Lafayette. You know, we're on in Lafayette on Pelican Broadcasting.
Nice.
I know the folks who recommend, if you're watching on the screen over our shoulder, you got a little Pat Minnis who was in the Aaron Rodgers TV spot. I mean, Buzz, as a State Farm, as a former State Farm insurance agent, now, of course, independent agent with Heidel and Wompkins.
No, it's great.
I mean, that's unbelievable, huh? I mean, you think that guy's phone's ringing off the hook?
That's almost as good as winning a national championship in the city you're trying to sell insurance.
Oh, wait, like
you know what I mean? I mean, that's almost.
Whoa. 09 national title.
I mean, you can't remember that.
Buzz at the box.
Check out the ring. Yeah.
Almost as good as doing a radio show in that same city as well. You know? But no, that's great for business. You know, people are just knocking down the doors to go.
But are they in Tempe?
No,
I mean, if it was in Wisconsin, then you really be having something.
True.
Yeah, but name recognition.
A little name recognition.
The people going to know, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
they're going to now pass the office and see the sign, and it catches their attention. Now they're like, oh, wait, that's the guy.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And if I was him, like, I'd put his face on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just
100%.
name recognition.
Discount double pat. You know? Whatever. I mean, like, seriously. I mean, all right, Cobb. So LSU football this year, the win against Auburn, unexpected. Nobody thought they'd be 3-0 at this point. No. You thought they'd either beat Auburn or beat Miami, but not both. And most people thought not Auburn. I mean, Jacob Hester thought that we had on earlier in the show. He thought that this was the hardest game of the year on their schedule.
Yeah, I heard him say that. That was interesting. Earlier
well,
in the week
I don't think he said it was. I agree with not the hardest team that he's going to play, but
just
maybe
the situation where they were.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, getting them on the road.
Most unlikely to win.
Sure.
So they pull it off. So now what? I mean, where does this team go from here?
It just depends. I mean, if they're not smelling themselves, then they can really roll into this Georgia game 6-0. You know, we talked about going to Florida. You can easily take down that Florida team. They haven't figured it out on offense yet. Dan Mullen doesn't have his quarterback tuned like he wants him to. So now you're talking about a 2-3 matchup in Tiger Stadium, you know, against Georgia. How crazy is that? From there, you got Mississippi State, then you got Alabama. So that 3-game stretch, you know, is just going to be a murderer's row. You get a layup with Rice, and then you close it out with Texas A&M. So, I mean, they still have just an incredibly tough schedule. It doesn't change any, right? Like, I mean, Florida's maybe worse than we thought. Mississippi State's probably
A&M's a little better than you thought.
A&M's better than we thought. It happens sooner. You know, that'll be a great test with A&M taking on Alabama later today, you know, and figuring out just how good they are, you know. So, I mean, I think that's going to be something that we can't wait to see.
Speaking of the A&M Alabama game, Alabama 26.5-point favorite, Buzz.
Do you have a ticker over there that you're just?
No, these things are right up in the noggin.
Yeah.
What do we think, Buzz? 26.5
for Alabama.
Point dog is the Texas A&M Aggies.
Is that at home too?
On the road.
That's
on the road.
way too.
Tuscaloosa.
That's way too much, Coach.
I mean, they only lost to Clemson at home by 2, and probably should have won.
You're telling me.
Property, though.
I thought it was a good point. I heard this morning on the radio, listening to the radio, is Alabama. Okay, listen to me, Coach. Listen to me when I'm talking.
You got the headsets on. We don't. I'm listening. Trust me.
We're waiting on you.
Texas A&M's playing a little over their skis. They've got the new coach in, Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo's, you know, they know he's a good coach. They necessarily don't have. They might not necessarily have the talent right now, but they believe in Jimbo.
They bought in.
They bought in.
Gotcha.
Okay, and so the years to come, Texas A&M is going to be really, really difficult. I just think they go into Alabama, and I think they compete hard. I think Jimbo wants to show, you know, his former boss that he can do it. I mean, he was the reason he didn't get the head coaching job here.
Saban 12-0 against his former assistant coaches.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily telling you this is the time that he loses.
26.5, Buzz. Yeah. You got to go to the window. What do you think? They're not going to win the game.
They're going to cover.
So you like A&M to cover?
I do.
Bro,
now that I'm adding it up. I mean, because you're talking 42-14. Something like that, they're going to cover.
They're going to beat them that bad? No, come on. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a better game than that. Texas A&M's 22nd in the country.
Well, you think I'm taking Alabama
to cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the question. So you think it's a lock of the week? That here's the thing. You just said they're playing over their skis, which means they're not that good. They just happen to be playing over their skis because Jimbo Magic and all that. Well, you know what? That Jimbo Magic works at home. Magic doesn't work on the road when you're playing over your skis.
But look, Alabama can't continue to play at that high level, can they?
They've been playing at that level for 10 years.
No, you're telling me every game they're going to beat everybody by 26 points?
Yes.
I mean, Ole Miss, they're going to beat them by 60.
I mean, look, they've looked so good the first few weeks. I mean, so like everybody's in the right spot. They run the play perfectly. The backup quarterback's as good as anybody in the country. I mean, like. They're pretty good, Buzz.
I realize that. I know they're good. I'm not telling you they're not good. I'm telling you,
like they're really going to beat everybody by 20. Yes, they're going to beat everybody by 20.
All I want is later on today when Alabama when they cover. Not Alabama, when Texas A&M covers.
Okay.
I just want a text message. Just like
yes,
I told
I'll
you,
give you the
Auburn
love.
was going to. I mean, LSU was going to cover the spread against Auburn. I didn't get nothing. I didn't get no love from you. I didn't get anything.
Listen, I'm taking Texas A&M plus 26.5, but I don't love it. I just think.
What are you acting like this is insane?
No, but
like
you threw it down like, of course I'm taking Texas. Like this is taking everything I have to put that number on Texas A&M to cover the 26.5.
By the way, who is that on before we go on? Because they were just
the national show.
Yeah, they were talking a bunch of noise, and I heard them talking about that. That was crazy.
Cobbs, quickly, what are your thoughts on this A&M Alabama thing?
I mean, I just don't think Texas A&M, once they get hit in the mouth by this Alabama machine, is going to be able to respond. And like
26.5 though, huh?
Yeah,
Coach?
I'll take it.
I mean, that's
what do you think they're going to score?
4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
better.
But you got to think of what do you think A&M is going to be able to put up against Alabama?
It's Jimbo Fisher, coach. He's
start there.
Guru.
Start there. Yeah, but he's still got.
I really like Kellen Mond, and I think that when you watched him against Clemson,
if he's going to get out and use his legs,
he was able to get out, and he was Johnny Manziel-ish running around.
I want a text message from you.
He's going to have to do that against Alabama. That's the only way it works.
Yes.
But, you know, I mean, you just saw Alabama's got tape now, right? You know, Alabama's got Clemson's tape to figure out the scheme. I mean, that's going to be
tough. And they put their pants on just like we do, Coach.
I might have to go Alabama now. I don't know. I might have to flip it. I don't know. I might take my bet back. I don't know. Can you do that? I don't know.
Last time Jimbo played Alabama, it was 24-7. Florida State was not very good. So he kept it close.
He's going to keep it close.
He's a good
not
coach.
going to get blown out.
That was game one, neutral site.
And the quarterback got hurt, DeAndre Francois, so he still kept it close.
This Texas A&M team is, like Buzzy said, they're feeling it right now. I think when you get down a couple
They're smelling
scores,
themselves? Is that what you said earlier?
I did say that earlier,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting.
I never heard that one.
You haven't heard that one?
Yeah.
Feeling themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Taste. I mean, I don't never
Somebody
heard
sent it to me in IM, so I just assumed it was
They
good.
IM'd it to you? Okay. All right, Michael, we're going to let you go. Thanks so much. We'll see you at Tiger Stadium later tonight.
Hey, my pleasure. Nothing like getting done with the post game and seeing Big Ron there handling up duties with the
Dressed
CST
nice.
broadcast. Oh,
Yeah.
just crushing it. Taking all of our interviews. It's great. I love it.
You're welcome. All right, Buzzy Heidel, Michael Cobb will be back with more Sports Shorts right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your Vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody. Just a week away from the Ryder Cup golf action. We want to work that in a little bit here on Sports Shorts just before we're talking a little football. But, you know, you got two golfers right in here hosting. We couldn't bring it up with Michael Cobble, not a golfer. We couldn't bring it up with Jacob Hester earlier on the show, not a golfer.
He just doesn't do it, huh?
No, I mean, he's played. But
and
he's
Flynn's
not
a golfer.
a golfer.
You know, his buddy. Flynn loves it. And he's a player.
Yeah, Flynn's a pretty good little golfer. But I know you're excited. I'm excited, Buzz. We got the Ryder Cup coming up. And nothing gets the Ryder Cup juices flowing like a hot Tiger Woods. And Tiger Woods, for the second tournament in a row, led the tournament after the first day. He has not done that since 2006, where he went back-to-back tournaments where he was leading after the first day. So it gives you an idea that we know he's been playing. I think he had 17 starts this year, 6 or 7 top 10 finishes. He's been playing better the last 2 months than he was the first 2 months. This bodes well for the ratings for the United States, who are favored, by the way. We talk a lot of gambling on this show. I'll put a wager on the Ryder Cup. The United States is I think a 4-6 favorite.
120 to win 100 for those out there.
What was it?
120 to win 100.
Win 120 to win 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll put 2 or 3 on there for the United States just to make it a little bit even more exciting. But man, this is going over to Paris, and the United States are loaded.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's a lot of heavy hitters, and that's what's cool. Even for the European team. I mean, I know we're Americans. We don't talk about the Europeans that much, but I mean, you got Paul Casey, Tommy Fleetwood, Sergio Garcia, Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, Henrik Stenson, Ian Poulter. I mean, those are big names. You know, John Rahm, one of the young studs for the European team. Francisco Molinari's won the British Open this year at over there.
First Italian to win that.
You know about playing overseas, as you went a couple months ago and played the old course. And so it's just a bunch of course, the United States heavy hitters. Tiger Woods is playing as good a golf as as he's played in a long, long time. Here's what I want to see too, though. Tiger Woods historically does not have a great Ryder Cup record, and doesn't. Is known for it was always kind of said that, well, he didn't play well in the team because he was such an individual guy, and he only knew how to compete and play for himself and go win majors and all that. And so when he would get into the Ryder Cup, he didn't mesh well with people. It's a different Tiger Woods, though. He's been humbled. He's been
he did a great job as a co-captain a couple 2 years ago. They talk about how much of an influence he had.
You just feel like the guys on the team really like him, and he really likes the guys as well. Even the Phil Mickelson. I mean, as much as they butted heads in at the top of their careers, it seems like their relationship is mended, and they've got a good relationship now. It's a good cohesive group for the United States right now, and a bunch of heavy hitters. It's going to be fun to watch. They're going to Paris, so across seas. They haven't won a Ryder Cup. 93. Tom Watson was the
Raymond Floyd was on that.
Yeah, Tom Watson
was on that team.
Was the captain.
Right.
And so they won the last Ryder Cup. They've had more success lately, although Europe from 99 to now has really had more success than the United States. But this would be big for the United States to go win a Ryder Cup on foreign soil again, which they hadn't done since '93. But they're going to have their hands full. Yeah, on paper, you'd probably say the United States team is better, and of course they're favored if you look at
minus
go to the
120, minus 140. Those are the odds that we're getting kind of up to the minute.
But what I want it to be is last year the United States kind of ran away with it. I do like a close match. Obviously, want United States to win, but I like it coming down to that last day and it's swinging. I mean, they get a point here, United States, then Europe gets a point, and it swings up a point, it comes back, they're back even. And I like when it comes down to those last 2 or 3 groups where every putt matters, every shot matters. I just think that's real. It's great for TV, but it's great for the golfing fan.
And the U.S. has never won on foreign soil, correct?
93 was the last time.
93, yeah. And back to what you said about Tiger Woods, do you think his experience not playing in the Ryder Cup is where he kind of got the camaraderie with the other guys? Because he got to hang out with them a lot.
Yeah, he got to be a little bit humbled. Well, it wasn't like he didn't make it. He was hurt.
Yeah. Oh, I know
but
that.
He got to see it from a different perspective. And
well, it was said that he called, I forgot if it was Davis Love. It was said that he called him and said, I want to be a part of this team. I want to be a vice captain.
Right.
Like it was, Davis Love didn't have to reach out to him when he knew he was hurt and he wasn't going to be on the team. He reached out and wanted to be a part of this. That says a lot right there. And again, it's just going to be great TV.
The pairings? I'm curious to find out about the pairings. During the week.
They're saying Woods and DeChambeau is going to be a group at some point. They say
apparently they're boys.
They're guys. I mean they I don't know. I mean DeChambeau's a bit much for me at times, but he's playing great. I would think. And I love this group. Because they're boys. Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka. Excuse me. I would think that would be a team. And I mean, you talk about bombers right there. They're going to be a long way down there. So
Patrick Reed, Jordan Spieth, they're always together.
Patrick Reed, Jordan Spieth, they're so good together. So
Spieth
has not been playing great.
Well.
Not been playing
great.
But
bring back some magic.
But he's clutch, and when that putter gets hot, that's what you really need in the Ryder Cup. You need the putter to get hot, and it's just going to be a lot of fun, Ronnie. And I know you're excited. I'm excited, and so we'll see. And I'm always interested. I love to see the uniform selection. I love to see what they go with. You know, right. I know 2 years ago when they were when they were overseas, they went with like the little beanie with the ball on the top, in American colors. So we'll see what kind of temperature it is in Paris and what they go with.
Next year, Whistling Straits.
We got to make it.
We got to do that.
We got to go.
Not only the outfits for the golfers, but for their wives and girlfriends as well.
You like the girlfriends are always in the carts. The wives.
They get tailored as well. They go for the fitting.
Well, of course they do.
By the way, better looking wives / girlfriends, NASCAR drivers or golfers?
Well, DJ and Pauline are on the little split.
Yeah, I think they're a little.
She deleted all of his pictures.
She's out there?
She deleted all.
She might be free, coach. She might want to slide those.
Hey, you want
DMs.
a 20 handicapper?
She deleted all his pictures
and
off of Instagram.
And saved one of Tiger Woods up there.
Paulina Gretzky, huh?
Yeah,
I wonder how that's going to affect his game. I don't like that she did that right before the Ryder Cup.
I don't like that either. And he, he's trying to.
Plus, we're trying to keep DJ on the straight and narrow. We don't want him to stray.
International waters.
He's got some vices. We know that. DJ may be, for you bettors out there, he may be the oppo pick. Like whoever he plays, you're probably going to get some money on. You're probably going to get a plus 140, 120, 150. You might be able to get some action. You bet anti-DJ.
Well,
he's foreign soil. He's in Paris. He might be. What's that? The Can place? The movie with the
Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge. He might be Moulin Rouge in it at night. His focus might not be there. He could be bringing back some things.
I wonder if he has. He might suffer from a little jet lag.
Yeah. So here's what's going to be. These are all rumors.
Come
obviously.
on, Paulina.
We know she took pictures off of him on Instagram and all that.
You know that if she deleted pictures of them on Facebook, that they're done.
But this is the telltale sign. We're literally going to get when they show all the wives and girlfriends and she's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to find out here in a short time whether it's true or not.
Yeah. So. That might change the way I bet this thing. That might be,
He's the number one golfer in the world, Coach.
Yeah.
No, Justin Rose does.
And we got.
No,
and
he's not.
And he just took him over.
No, he just took.
Wow.
And then Spieth.
You sure about that?
100%.
Didn't make the top 30.
Yep.
No, he didn't. He's not in the Tour Championship.
Didn't make the top 30. So I mean, we got Spieth faltering down the stretch. We got DJ with some family issues that could lead to some off the field. There's a lot of things. Got a lot of things. Phil's getting up in age. DeChambeau's very eccentric out on the course. I mean,
but when it comes down to Ryder Cup experience, I mean, Phil Mickelson's going to be unmatched. This is going to be his 12th Ryder Cup appearance.
Who was he going for?
I would
do you
love to
think?
see.
No, Phil Mickelson. Yeah, Phil
Who are you rooting
Mickelson will
for?
play with like a Webb Simpson or somebody that's going to be a little.
Tony, are you going? I do have to ask before we go to break.
Me being the European
Tony being the
representative.
only European in the room. Although I did do 23andme.com and I got about 86% Western European in there. But I got to ask you, who do you go for during the Ryder Cup? The United States or the Europeans?
So far as home field advantage, I'll definitely edge it for the Europeans.
No, but I mean that's your prediction. But I'm talking about who are you pulling for?
Who's your heart with?
Are you ole 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 ole? I mean, is that you?
I won't go so far as to say that, but I'm pulling for the Europeans.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, own it,
Of course
own
I
it.
am.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
Now
I mean,
but once again, I mean, you've been wrong with Lloyd before. Lloyd's called you out on some things. I stand corrected. Justin Rose is number 1. That's crazy. Brooks Koepka, number 2 in the world. Dustin Johnson 3. Justin Thomas 4.
I think Brooks Koepka and Tiger Woods are going to be the story of the Ryder Cup. I think for the United States, you got one of the hottest golfers in the world in Tiger Woods, and you got the hottest golfer in the world in Brooks Koepka. I don't know why that's so difficult for me. Plus, he just looks so good in that Schmedium. I mean, the guy is just,
He's got
that's
some
what
arms,
a golfer should look like in the modern day.
By the way, to answer your question, you feel like golfers have a little more of a classier woman, too, than the NASCAR guys. The NASCAR is just, it seems a little, I don't know.
NASCAR's got Ricky Bobby.
Just real.
So you think the wives and the girlfriends in NASCAR are a little bit more fun than the ones in the golf?
Yeah, you feel like it's a little more,
Yeah, but look at the guy who just got beat up by his
was just
wife
thinking
a
that.
few weeks ago.
Oh, you're talking.
He wasn't focusing or playing good enough.
Who was that?
On the tour? I need one of y'all guys to
Oh, my
Google that
God,
on the
who
Google
was that?
machine. Yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is that like,
Lucas Glover.
Oh my God, it was Lucas Glover.
Kept her glove hand strong.
Yeah, I mean, my point is that just when you're ready to call golfer wives and girlfriends classy, we've got Paulina Gretzky. Google that, and then you got Lucas Glover's wife.
Her mugshot's rough.
Backhanding him
then you
because
got-
he's just not focusing enough.
Then you got Jason Duffner's ex-wife who's did
throwing
some
it around
things.
everywhere.
I mean,
she's
you're
give her a
right.
call. She
I
might
stand
answer.
corrected again.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, Buzz, you're 0 for 2 in the last 3 minutes. All right, we're going to take a break. Sports Shorts. We'll come back. We're done with the Ryder Cup segment. We'll come back, talk some more sports shorts presented by LeBears. Don't go anywhere.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans born to
attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rance, Buzzy Heidel here with you. There's one of the more bizarre LHSAA stories that's been going on for a few weeks, and of course, the folks in the New Orleans area have heard more about it really than the Baton Rouge area. But Hahnville's Andrew Robinson, the quarterback, really good quarterback, outstanding quarterback, and a difference maker for them to potentially. I mean, they're talking about defending state champions, so I mean, a guy who big time difference maker. Hasn't been able to play this year, ruled ineligible. It's a guy who's, got college potential. Hasn't been able to play. It's been appealed by the school. It's been now the legal, I guess the family, not the school, the family has taken it to the courts. And actually on Thursday, a ruling came down that said that Hahnville quarterback Andrew Robinson may get to play this season after all. A temporary restraining order was granted on behalf of the young man against the Louisiana High School Athletic Association a week after he was denied eligibility by the LHSA's executive committee in a heated appeal. So there's already been the ruling. There's been the appeal. Oh, by the way, the executive committee was a unanimous decision by the executive committee to deny his appeal. That doesn't happen very often in these types of cases.
Well, and look, I've been reading the Twitter, reading different social media outlets and people having strong opinions. Look, Zach Streif chimed in on this, and he was very opinionated, and I think he tweeted something about saying, how does this happen? How does this happen with grown adults in a room to rule this kid ineligible? That's the knee-jerk reaction when you don't know all the facts. Right. One thing, and when it was told to me, unanimous by the board to vote him ineligible, that tells a lot right there. You don't have to say a whole lot. If there's not one person that thought he should have been eligible, and basically, I don't know the whole story either, Ronnie, but I do know Robinson's dad was a basketball coach and assistant football coach. They didn't renew his contract, so he wasn't at Vanderbilt Catholic. Was not able to coach there anymore. So he doesn't have a job. So he goes to Hahnville, is a coach, gets enrolled, or not enrolled, but employed there, and his son comes with him. Now, what they don't tell you, and they're saying that it's a financial hardship, that he can't stay at the Houma-based school, Vanderbilt Catholic, that he has to go to Hahnville. Well, this is my sources. I'm just going to say that. Sources tell me he has two siblings, Robinson, a brother and a sister. Go to school? Vanderbilt Catholic.
There you go.
So if it's a financial hardship, then why aren't they out of the school as well? And so that didn't sit well with the LHSAA, I wouldn't think. And it's stated in the rules. You've got to uphold the rule that's in the handbook. You can't.
And there was some photos taken as well.
There was photos taken in the spring before he enrolled in this fall to Hahnville. Right. Before he was a student. So
of him wearing the Hahnville jersey and all that, because let's face it, he was a hot commodity. Yeah. Coach needed a job, and
why don't we get
some of the kids, not the other kids?
Yeah, why don't we get the siblings to go over? And so there's a lot,
and there's other things as well.
There's just a lot more to the story. So all I tell
Ian, by the way, the LHSAA has not released their file, if you will, all of their information as to why they ruled unanimously with the executive committee, as well as the LHSAA governing body implemented the rules in the first place. That they're keeping that under wraps. Right. Now that will all come out eventually, potentially, if there's legal actions, which there's now a legal situation where the courts ruled a court order injunction, appeal rather. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And probably when we learn more even about it, we'll be like, oh, okay. All right.
Right. And it's a unique situation. Look, I wish people would see the whole story and know that, listen, don't just jump to conclusions without knowing everything. The LHSA has always been, Ronnie, you know better than anybody, very strong on this. You're not transferring for athletic benefit. It's different if the mom loses.
I know.
I
sat out my sophomore year in high school.
Didn't know that.
I transferred from Alexandria Senior High to Menard High School, the Catholic school in Alexandria. Didn't move. Literally lived about 2 miles from Alexandria Senior High and 1 mile from Menard. Decided after my freshman year wanted to transfer to Menard, and I had to sit out my whole sophomore year. Could practice, couldn't play. It sucked, but it's a part of the deal.
Right.
And many other players have done that same thing. It's when you try to circumvent the rules, lie, cheat, do other things that you got to pay the consequences. And here's the thing: we all feel sorry for the young man, right? Who doesn't get to play.
By the way, he does have eligibility. You do know that at Vanderbilt Catholic,
right?
Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Vanderbilt.
No R. Yeah, you're saying it right.
He has eligibility. So he could
go back there and be their starting quarterback.
He's saying they fired his dad. The coach doesn't like it. That's what he's saying. It's an unpleasant situation for the kid because of what happened to his dad as an employee.
But not for his siblings. They're okay.
But the siblings are fine.
They're
so
okay.
So that's the key. But he does have eligibility. I want to make sure that you're clear with that.
Right. There is a place that he can go play.
That's right. But it's just not at Honville.
If he wanted to, go to school with his brother and sister, but he doesn't want to do that.
That's all the story. That's all from the resources.
Right.
I'm getting.
And so again, it's if you don't like it where you're at, and you want to transfer, you can. You just have to sit out a year.
Yeah. Don't do it your senior year.
It's so. We'll see. Because here's the thing: is that if you make the kid eligible and he plays at Honville, then they win.
And everybody does this. This opens up a whole can of worms. It's already bad enough in some areas.
Well, look, I'm okay with if you do it the right way, right? Like, let's say you decide you're at Denham Springs High School, okay, and you're living in Denham Springs, and you decide, you know what, we want to move to Dutchtown. We want to move to Geismar. Take a job on that side of town. Want to live over there. Well, if you pack up and you move and you do it the right way, and
it happens all the time.
File your paperwork and then you can go over there and play. You move,
and that's you can
legally
do that. That's fine.
It's when you don't move and you try to go play, or you use a fake address
or the apartment address.
Exactly.
Like they're doing in this sense. So look, there's a lot of shades of gray here. Don't think it's just very black and white. And so there was some strong opinions on Twitter, and I didn't know all the details either. So I was very
I know that the LHSAA didn't go looking for this. There was a complaint filed against another school, probably Vanderbilt Catholic, I'm sure. There was a complaint filed, just like anybody in the state of Louisiana can complain about another school. If you're another school, hey, this is my concern. I think XYZ school has a player who's ineligible. Here's why. I'm submitting this form. Please investigate. They did. They found that they broke the rules. By the way, the rules created by the principals. The principals of the state of Louisiana create a rule, big book, thick. Right. They just the LHSA simply implementing the rules selected by the principals, not by themselves arbitrarily. And by the way, letter of the law, they broke these rules. This is the consequences. We didn't come up with the rules or the penalty. The principals did. If they want to change it, there's a process for doing that. But it's not right now.
Yeah, just at the end of the day, when rules are broken, you have consequences, right? When the kid switches the vials of urine and he gets suspended.
You got to sit out a year.
That's what happens.
Well, a year, thank goodness.
Yeah, but you get reprimanded for it.
Well, we'll be following. It's an interesting case, the Andrew Robinson case over there at Honville. It's going to be very, very interesting because this is all going to go down quickly. We're in the middle of the football season, and if they somehow can get him back, that makes Honville super dangerous to possibly win back-to-back state championships. He's Buzzy Heidel. I'm Ronnie Rance. We'll take our final break. Be back with our final segment, Sports Shorts, coming up next.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I don't know if that was a little, was that a little Sade right there, or what was that playing?
A little bit of the Roots.
A little Roots, okay. All right. Never know what you're going to get with Lloyd the intern spinning the wheels of steel back there. We're going to have to, might have to start throwing some.
I do love some Sade as well. Where I actually lived in England was less than 10 miles away from where she used to live.
Really?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
she's originally she's French, right?
No, she was originally from Nigeria,
was from
I believe.
Africa, but I thought she was like.
Yeah, she was
France.
raised in Clacton, which is a coastal town in Essex.
Yeah, knows a lot about Sade. I love it. Smooth Operator, one of the classics. But I mean, I saw Sade in the '90s on the Love Deluxe tour. That was a fantastic concert. I mean, I'm talking about, there were people getting pregnant in the audience watching, just listening to her sing. Like that sexy of music and I mean, Sade, Coach, you need to get you some of that.
I have
SADE. No, I'm telling you.
I literally have no idea who this is.
Count on Ronnie to push it to the edge.
Yeah, I mean, look,
and
when
then
you
just a little bit more.
Yeah,
what's the
SADE? When you and Mama are looking for something different to put on to set the mood, I'm telling you, go SADE on Pandora, and just thank me later.
Little bit of Sweetest Taboo.
Yeah, Sweetest Taboo. That's a great one. It's a great one. 80s, 90s. She was really big 80s, 90s, but still making good music to this day. All right. There's a big event coming up, Buzz. I know you're not going to be there because I would have to charge you, but there's other people that don't mind paying. It's a benefit for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and it's coming up October the 3rd in Lafayette. It's an evening with Les Miles and Archie Manning, two of the football legends in the state of Louisiana. It's at Oakbourne Country Club. It's October the 3rd. It's a dinner. It's a panel discussion. Lynn Rollins will do a 30-minute Q&A with Les Miles. There'll be some questions from the audience as well at the end. I'll do about a 40-minute conversation with Archie Manning. And it's really cool timing because October 3rd is right after the LSU Ole Miss weekend and right after the Saints play the Giants. So Eli and going up against Drew a couple days earlier. So that is October the 3rd. It's a fantastic event. It benefits the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation, a nonprofit. You can get your tickets through lasportshall.com. That's lasportshall.com. We hope to see you there. Tables, tickets. And oh, by the way, Les Miles getting inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame this coming June of 2019 alongside Peyton Manning, who as well, and Roger Cador from Baton Rouge, and Max Fugler, who played on that 58 national championship team. So a really cool class, and we look forward to visiting with and Les Miles on October the 3rd.
Yeah, I'd love to go to that event. Just if you get me a tee time about 4.5, 5 hours earlier.
Oh, at Oakbourne?
I'll play the round.
So
I'll
a free round
I'll pay
of
for
golf?
my ticket.
Oh, okay. So if I get you on, you'll pay for your ticket?
What, it was $40?
No.
Okay.
It costs more than that just for the food, Buzz. Our cost.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, maybe you give it to me for cost.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Look, if you need me to give a Q&A too, I'll get up there and tell some stories. Look, I don't just want a free handout. I mean, I'll work for
You'll
it.
work for your meal.
Yeah.
By the way, this coming week, they're going to unveil the Billy Cannon statue.
Mm-hmm.
The night before the Ole Miss game, they're going to unveil the statue. It's been a long time coming. Unfortunately, he passed away a few months ago, but his family will be there. A lot of his former teammates are going to be there because I think they're honoring the 58 team.
Wow, yeah.
60th anniversary
60 years.
At the Ole Miss game. And, of course, very fitting, LSU Ole Miss, the Halloween Classic punt return. But Billy Cannon's statue going to be unveiled, and I'm looking forward to that. A guy who will be there is a 2019 Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, Max Fugler, who was an All-American center, voted one of the top 50 centers, top 50 college football players of the first 50 years, rather. He was on the all half-century team for college football as a center. That's how good he was.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to seeing him. But Billy Cannon, what does that name mean to you? When you talk about like the Mount Rushmore of Louisiana football players, pro, college, I'm thinking Billy Cannon. I'm thinking Archie Manning. I mean, we're talking pro and college.
Well, do they have to have both representations, or is it just to the state of Louisiana? Because I've got a different list.
The history of Louisiana, the most popular football players that played in Louisiana.
Either college or pro.
College or pro.
Okay, so you got Billy Cannon.
Billy Cannon and Archie Manning are on my for sure, my two. Do you agree with that?
No, I disagree.
Okay, who would you leave off? Who would you put on?
I've got Billy Cannon.
Okay.
I think that's a stay. I think he's got to be on there. I've got Drew Brees.
Okay. He's on mine as well.
Call me crazy. I got Terry Bradshaw.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Four Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean,
Terry. Yeah.
You ready for the fourth one?
You can say Glenn Dorsey.
Glenn Dorsey. Here's the deal. He's the most.
I knew it.
Coach.
I knew it. East Ascension.
He's the most
Y'all
decorated.
played together in high school.
The most decorated player in LSU history. You know what that means?
No, he's not the most decorated player in LSU.
Defensive player.
No. Tommy Casanova, 3-time All-American. Glenn Dorsey never did that.
Coach, did they just make that up?
No, I'm just, he decorated with all the goofy awards because in the Dorsey era, there's a million .coms that had him on. Is that
Dorsey's fault?
No, but I'm saying Tommy Casanova is the only 3-time first-team All-American.
I'll take
Playboy All-American. He walked out on the Bob Hope show, said Tommy Casanova. Like that, come on.
You give me Glenn Dorsey and Tommy Casanova right now, head up. I'm taking Glenn Dorsey.
Oh, I'll take Dr. Tommy Casanova.
I like Tommy, but I got to go Glenn Dorsey. I got to go my boy.
Nah, Archie Manning, the face of the franchise for the first 25, 30 years. He was an NFC Player of the Year on a losing team. He's Buzzy Heidel. He obviously went to high school at Glen Dorsey. He references them every show. I'm Ronnie Rance. Thanks to Jacob Hester, Michael Cobble of WBRZ for joining us. Have a great week, everybody. Go Tigers and Saints.